everyone. I'm Judith and we're here for an hour of gentle yoga. So we start sitting. So if you like, you can grab a bolster or blocks and any props that work for you, maybe a blanket. Yeah, please have them close by. So today I thought I'd work a little bit with loving kindness, doing a metta meditation. So it's week 8 of the shelter in place, and for some of us it's dragging. So we might be one of the lucky ones that can enjoy most of the time this situation, but we are social beings after all, and we are limited in our freedom how we can connect to others, and so we might have days that are challenging, and maybe some of us actually have a stressful time most of the time. So to meet this loving kindness meditation, a metta meditation, can actually do wonders. So the idea is that we come to awareness, come to compassion. So connect to ourselves, and whatever is going on inside us, we send ourselves well wishes. Cultivating that feeling of it's okay. And from here, radiating out and extending these well wishes to others. Alright? I invite you to join. So find a comfortable seat. Wiggle a little bit in your sitting bones. Find some length in your spine. Release shoulders. Hands can be on the legs. Palms up or palms down. Palms up is a little bit more receiving. Palms down, a little bit more grounding. Or maybe the hands are in your lap. And then if you're comfortable, close your eyes. Otherwise have them just half closed. And then check in. Notice how you feel this morning. And connecting to the breath can always be helpful and give us some ideas where we are. And connecting to the breath does the magic of bringing us into the present moment. So taking a few breaths here, just allowing to arrive. And I will guide you through this metta meditation. So feel free to repeat after me, either out loud or just in your mind. If you're comfortable, if you want, you can bring both hands to your heart. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be at peace and free of suffering. So let these words resonate with yourself. Maybe a feeling is coming up. Try to connect to this feeling. Self-love is so important. And it's important so that we're able to give love. So with compassion we go another round. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be at peace and free of suffering. Now bring somebody to your mind that's easy to love. Maybe a child, whatever comes to your mind. And then, if you like, repeat after me. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be at ease and peace and free of suffering. And then bring somebody else into your mind. And here you have the choice, maybe it's somebody that's not easy to love, maybe challenging you. But in case you don't want to go there, then bring somebody to your mind that's just neutral. And if you like, repeat after me. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be at peace and free of suffering. Sit here for a few more breaths, releasing the hands if you like. Noticing what's going on inside you. Maybe enjoying that act of extending loving kindness. And either keep your eyes now closed or release, or open the eyes gently and then release the arms. And then with an inhale, we're lifting the arms, finding a stretch, and with an exhale, we're releasing the arms. Inhale, lifting up. Let's do one more. And exhale, bringing the arms down, lowering the shoulders. Let's do one more. Inhale, lifting up. And exhale. From here, let's bring the feet forward. Coming up right, lifting into the crown of the head. And then come towards a twist. So bringing one arm around your knees and the other arm somewhere behind you. So find a little bit of length. And then gently come into the twist and take a few breaths here. And for this one, maybe you play around a little bit. It's our first twist, first movement. So maybe with an inhale you find a little bit more length. And then with an exhale maybe you twist a little bit more. And when you inhale you find more length. Coming maybe a little bit out of the twist. And then exhale maybe a little bit more in. So 2 or 3 more breaths. Just checking out how your spine feels. And then from here we come to center and towards the other side. So length. The other arm goes around the knees or maybe just touches the knees, the legs. And the other arm goes behind you, the opposite arm, and then finding the length and then the twist. So with an inhale, the lengthening, and then with an exhale, the twisting. 2 or 3 more. Just checking in, noticing how your shoulders feel, the spine, the hips. And we come back to center. And from here, we come to our hands and knees, moving the props to the side. Certainly, if you like any blanket for the knees, you're welcome to use one. So tabletop, the hands underneath the shoulders. We move a few rounds through cat and cow. So with an exhale, rounding the spine, and then inhale, arching the spine, leading with the chest. Exhale, chin to the chest. Bring the mid-spine up, the tailbone is long. And then inhale, arching the spine, bringing the chest forward, gently lifting the head. And then go a few on your own, slow or very slow, checking in. Then come to a neutral spine. And then from here, let's first come actually into a child's pose. So knees can go wide, they can stay together, and then bring the hips back towards the heels, wiggling with the hips. Reaching with the hips back towards the feet, the heels. And then lowering the head down. If it doesn't come down, you can stack hands. So coming into your child's pose. You're noticing how your hips feel. Allowing the hips to be heavy, heavy, breathing and happy. And breathing into your belly. Let's walk with the head and walk the hands over towards one side, releasing the forehead down. So feeling that side stretch, reaching into the arms. Noticing the rhythm of your breath. And then lifting the head, walking the hands over towards the other side. And then releasing down, allowing the upper body to be heavy. Maybe here reaching a little bit more towards the side if that feels good. Feeling here the contraction when you, with the ribs, on the ribs, and the extension coming from the breath. And then we lift up. We come back to center. And then from here we come back into a tabletop. And then we come back to cat and cow. And this time we connect it with the child's pose. So now with an exhale, let's come into cat and reach your hips back, reaching the hips back towards the heels. And then allow the elbows to sink down. And then when you start to inhale, kind of scoop your chest forward, coming into an arching and lifting up into a cow. And then from here, exhale, reaching the hips back, rounding the spine, pressing the mid-spine back, lowering. And then when you inhale, kind of scooping forward as much as that is possible. Reaching up, you're coming into cat, and then you transverse your into cat and child. So do 1 or 2 more rounds. Notice how that feels. The movement in the spine, the hips. And then the next time here, you're in child's pose, lower, take a breath. And then let's reverse that movement. Now we're coming out of child's pose with an exhale, coming into the cat, then through tabletop, into a cow, arching the spine, and while we are inhaling, the hips reach back and we lower. And then with an exhale, rounding the spine, lifting the spine up, coming into a cat. Then inhale, arching the spine, reaching the hips back, letting the hips land on the heels, lowering down. And do 1 or 2 more. Notice whether maybe your body has a preference for one of the other. Notice how this feels. And then release. Take another breath here in your child's pose. And from here, we're lifting up. Back to tabletop, and then we come into our downward facing dog. So hands go a little bit more forward, we spread all the fingers. Hands shoulder width apart or more. Tucking the toes and lifting the knees, reaching the hips up. And maybe, as usual, you try or you want to walk your dog, bending one knee, pressing the other heel down. So any movement that feels good. Have the feet about the hip width apart. Maybe you let, in case the heels are more to the inside together, maybe you glide them a little bit more out. If you feel you're rounding in your low back, maybe you feel like you're more into a plank pose, bend the knees a little bit more and reach the hips more back. And then with the next inhale, lift your heels, and then with an exhale, bring the heels down. Let's do 2 more. Inhale, lifting the heels. And then exhale the heels down. 1 more. Inhale, lifting up. And then exhale, bringing the heels down. From here, let's bring the knees down. Coming back into child's pose. And here let's connect again to the loving kindness towards ourselves. So whatever's going on in our body, can we be okay with it? May we be happy, may we be healthy. May we adjust our practice so that we are at peace, at ease, and free of suffering. And then we lift up to a tabletop. And we come into downward facing dog again. A few breaths. Maybe only a few. We then come into a forward fold, or maybe a few more. Maybe you reach forward into a plank just because it feels good, and you reach back. Take 1 or 2 more breaths if you like. And then from here now we come all into a forward fold. So walking the feet towards the hands, and the knees can be bent, and letting the upper body hang. Shaking the head, maybe no, and yes. If you like, you can grab opposite elbows, sway from side to side. And then releasing the arms, bending the knees, bringing the tailbone down, and then let's roll up. The head lifts up last. And we come to a standing. Alright. Coming to our mountain pose. So feet above hip width apart. We always mean the hip bones. Let's lift all the toes, spreading them. And then from here bringing the pinkies down, one after the other. Big toes are lifted. And then the big toes go down as well. And again lifting all the toes. So spreading the toes, feel your inner arches, ground into all the mounds, and then bring the big toes down, and then one after the other, if they do that. Alright. Lifting the heels, bring the heels down, lifting the toes. And then 2 more. If you like, you can also lift the arms, lifting the heels, and with an exhale coming down, lifting the toes. And 1 more. Lifting the arms, lifting the heels, and coming down. Alright. From here, let's come into a chair pose. So bending the knees into the direction of the feet. Belly gently pulls in. From here, we have a couple of choices. Hands can stay on your heart. Maybe you bring your arms into cactus arms. Or maybe you lift the arms up in a V. If you do that, maybe you try to have the arms straight. If they don't come close to your head, they can go wide. There's something to have soft joints. There's something also to extend the joints and then work actually the muscles a little bit. So nothing is bad, nothing is kind of better. So there are always choices. Take another breath. And then with an inhale, we lift up and release the arms. Coming back to chair. Choosing your arm position again. And then for this one, try to hug the legs together without moving the feet. So notice what's working. Breathing. And then soften. And then from here, push the legs apart without moving the feet. So what's moving now? Or what's working now? Actually, not so much should move. Take another breath, feeling your body. And then with an inhale, we lift up and release the arms. And then to a half sun salutation. So starting from mountain pose, where we lift into the crown of the head, lift into the chest. With an inhale, we lift the arms. And then with an exhale to a forward fold. So hinging from the hips. At the end, we round our spine. Inhale, we lift halfway up. Moving the shoulders away from the ears. And then exhale, fold. Inhale, we're lifting up again. All the way. Bring the arms with us. Maybe we look up. And exhale, hands to your heart. and to your side. So when we move, let's work with the straight spine, engaging the belly. So inhale, lifting the arms. Exhale, hinging from the hips, the belly draws in, straight spine. Knees can bend, at the end you can round your spine. Inhale, we lift halfway up. Straight legs, straight arms, straight spine. Shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, we fold. And then we push into the feet, pulling the belly in, and we lift up all the way. Bring the arms up. And exhale, hands to our heart and to our side. All right. From here, let's step one leg back, becoming into a warrior two. So that's a fairly wide stand. And the front foot points forward, the knee ideally into the direction of that foot, and the back foot slightly to the inside. So check in, how deep do you want to go? The other one is you can also check in with your hips. So in case you feel like you're leaning forward, you can bring one hand on the outer hip and then push that hip a little bit more in, bringing the shoulders more over the hips. And when you're ready, lifting the arms. Can you lift the toes off your front foot? Create an inner arch, bringing the toes down. The same for the back foot. And here also grounding a little bit more to the outside of the back foot. Let's move a little bit. So with an inhale, bringing the front palm up, that back hand a little bit in front of us. So take one more breath, maybe find a little bit of length. Notice how that feels. And then with an exhale, you're coming towards the other side. So we're really lifting the back arm. Maybe that front arm goes a little bit in. Taking another breath, checking in. And then from here we move with the breath. So with an inhale, the front arm lifts up. And then with an exhale, the back arm lifts up, the other one lowers. Maybe you lean a little bit more forward, maybe not so much. So go about 2 or 3 more rounds. Notice what's going on in your body. Certainly if the warrior pose feels too intense, you can straighten that front leg. Alright, coming back to our warrior two. And from here we all straighten that front leg now. Coming to a triangle pose. So for this one, still having, you can shorten the stand a little bit, back foot still kind of points more forward. Reaching forward, and then bringing the front hand down, letting it land somewhere on the lower leg, and then the lower leg pushes back, coming out of the overextension of that front leg. If you like, shoulders are stacked. If you like, bringing the arm up, and then taking a few breaths, grounding into both feet. So for that front foot, push into the mount of the big toe, but of the big toe itself as well. Take one more breath. And from here, bend the front knee, lift up. Take another breath and release. Pivot the feet around. Outside of the feet are parallel. Hands on the hips. Lift the toes, spread them. Create your inner arch. And then release the toes down. If you like, hands behind your back. Maybe you have a strap or a towel. Inhale, and then with an exhale, come to a forward fold. Letting the head hang, shaking the head no. And yes. Maybe lifting the arms up all the way. Maybe not. Take one more breath. Releasing the hands, bringing them onto the hips, squeezing the legs, and then from here with the straight spine, we're lifting up all the way. Alright. And we come over towards the other side. Warrior two. So maybe widening stand a little bit more, checking in. Having that front knee over the heel, back foot slightly, pointing forward, and then let's lift the toes of that front foot. So feel that strong foot, rounding down and bringing the toes down. And then for the back foot the same, lifting the toes, grounding into the mounts of the toes, and then bringing the toes down, and also grounding a little bit more into the center of the heel. Alright, our warrior two. Lifting arms but releasing the shoulders. Lifting into the crown of the head. And then let's add the movement. So with an inhale, lifting that front arm, taking another breath, reaching up. Coming back to center. And then from here, lifting the back arm, reaching up, feeling the lengthening. And then moving with the breath. So with an inhale now, the front arm reaches up. And then with an exhale, that arm lowers and the other one lifts up. And maybe you lean a little bit more forward, maybe not. So there are always choices. Move with your breath. Notice whether this side maybe feels different in your hips, in the legs. Let's do one more round. Releasing and preparing for our triangle pose, and I often like actually to shorten the stand a little bit more. Front foot points forward, back foot slightly forward, reaching forward, releasing the hand, connecting, rounding down, pushing back with the leg, stacking shoulders, and bringing the upper arm up, or keeping it on the low back. There are always choices, also how you turn your head, so maybe you look straight forward, maybe you look down. Maybe just for a breath or so you look up. Always checking in. Sometimes a little bit of challenge to strengthen the muscle. Challenging ourselves without straining. And we bend the front knee, lifting up. Let's bring the legs together. Shake the legs. And release. Yeah, let's actually do another half sun salutation. So coming to the front, coming into mountain pose. And then with an inhale, we're lifting arms. Then with an exhale, coming to a forward fold. Inhale, we lift halfway, shoulders away from the ears. And then exhale, forward. And then inhale, we're lifting up all the way, grounding into the feet, lifting up. And then the exhale, hands to our heart. And to the side. And then again, inhale, lifting up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, we lift halfway. And then exhale, bring the hands down, go back to a downward facing dog. And then take a few breaths. Grounding into your hands, spreading all the fingers. Can you find a little bit of external rotation in your upper arms? Meaning you widen around the shoulder blades. You bring these upper inner arms close to your ears, a little bit more forward. And these outer upper arms a little bit more in and down. Take another breath. Now if you like, you can stay here. You also can come into child's pose. Or maybe you come forward into a plank. And the plank pose, it's a lot about technique. So in case you find yourself sinking down, it's pretty hard. If you can push into the hands, lifting the hips, making the tailbone long, you're distributing all the weight into more strength, different muscles. Bringing the knees down is always an option. And then from here we all come down, and we lower down, and we come on the belly. So coming down all the way, bringing the hands in front, softening the forehead down on the hands, and then connecting again with how we feel, checking in how our body feels. So maybe noticing how we breathe against the mat. And coming back to the loving kindness. Take one more breath here. And then from here we bring the arms along the body and turning the head towards one side. We move a little bit to locust. So let's, with an inhale, lift the arms, lift the legs, the head comes to center. And then with an exhale, we lower the arms, we lower the legs, and the head turns towards the other side. Inhale, we're lifting up, reaching up, crown of the head reaches forward, and exhale, release. So move with your breath. On the inhale, we get fully engaged, and then on the exhale, we lower down. If you like to add a little bit more, bring a little bit more of rotation into your arms. So then with an inhale, when you lift up, also squeeze the shoulder blades together, the palms might come down. And then exhale, releasing the shoulders, the arms, the legs, everything down. And then move with the breath. So with an inhale, reaching up, drawing the shoulder blades together. And then exhale, coming down and release. Maybe one or two more rounds. Moving with your breath. Checking in how this feels. Maybe you're done. Maybe you go for one more round. And soften all the way down. Wiggle hips. Maybe arms underneath, the hands underneath the forehead. Take a few breaths. From here we glide the hands underneath the shoulders and we move through a few cobra rolls. Also movement while we do the cobras. So extend your feet and press the tops of the feet down. So all your toenails are pressing down into the ground. So maybe even to that extent that the knees are lifting. The belly pulls in, tailbone is long. Hands underneath the shoulders, elbows in. And then here with an inhale, we're lifting up to a low cobra. And then with an exhale, we're coming down. And then we're adding the roll. So now when you push gently into the hands, you lift the head. Keep the neck, the chin towards the chest, so the neck long. And then at the end of the inhale, you lift your chin forward. And then again, bringing the chin down and we lower down. So the forehead lands on the ground. So pushing into the hands, the chin stays towards the chest, lifting up. At the end of the inhale, we lift the chin, any amount. And then exhale, bringing the chin back to the chest, and we come down. So you can play around with this. With the inhale, we lift up. So make sure, so first the chin stays to the chest, but then when you lift your head, make sure you're okay in your neck. Are you able to draw the shoulders away from the ears? And then coming down. So shoulders away from the ears might help to lift the chin a little bit more. But it's not about how deep you go into the pose. It's what you feel. And that you can work in a range, with a range of motion that is beneficial for yourself. Let's do a last one. And then we release, either arms along the body or forearms or hands underneath your head. If you like, bend your knees. And then let the feet go from side to side. Releasing the legs. Bring the arms along the body. And then coming into a locust pose again. And here let's stay with that locust pose. Maybe you find a little bit of a micro movement from the breath. With an inhale, maybe you lift up a little bit more. And then with an exhale, maybe you soften a little bit. Keep the neck long. Few breaths. Can hug the legs together, try to lift the inner legs. And release, turning the head towards the side, bending the knees, and then letting the feet go from side to side. And then maybe you stay here. Maybe you do another locust pose. Maybe you're done, you come into child's pose. Maybe you're already done early morning with the back bends. But maybe just in case it feels like it or you feel like it, you bend the knees, you can come into the modified locust pose, or maybe you grab the ankles. It might be intense, we haven't done any other hip openers yet, but for some of us it might really feel good. So if you want to, grab your ankles, gently hug the legs together, press the hip creases down, and then maybe from here you push the feet up, lifting up, coming into a bow pose. So whatever you do, move or stay with your breath. Listen what feels, how that feels in your body. Awareness and release. And then another gentle, letting the knees go from side to side. Or crossing them, so whatever feels good. Then releasing the legs, sliding the hands underneath the shoulders. And then from here slowly, maybe wiggling the hips, coming into a child's pose. So this now is a counter stretch. Move, mindful, moving or staying with the breath. Take one more breath here. And from here we're lifting up, coming into a tabletop, and then back to downward facing dog. Rounding into the hands, taking another breath. With your next inhale, lift your right leg, lifting it up. Take another breath here. And then bring that right foot forward all the way. In case it doesn't come forward, give it a lift. So you can stay here. You also can use props. Maybe going a little bit back and forth. Maybe you bring that back knee down and go a little bit back and forth from here. Whatever works in your body. And when you use the blocks, make sure they're underneath the shoulders so that they're also around that front foot. Alright. And then from here we come into a twist. So you can bring the back knee down. And so when you have your right foot forward, keep the left hand either on the ground or on the block, and then lift that right shoulder up. So twisting towards that bent knee, the shoulders away from the ears, that other hand can stay on the low back, just lifting the shoulder, or you lift the arm up. If you like, you can draw a few circles with that other hand, going one way, going the other. Maybe tucking the back toes under, lifting the back knee. Then we release, moving back either to downward facing dog or child's pose. Taking one or two breaths. Whatever we do, staying with the breath. And then when you're ready, with your next inhale, lifting the left leg, the other leg. Take another breath here. Reaching into the heel, that standing leg can be bent. And then from here, bringing that foot forward. Maybe giving it a lift all the way forward. Maybe bringing the back knee down. Maybe grabbing blocks and then moving with the hips back and forth, any amount. The blocks have 3 different settings. then from here coming into the twist. So maybe a block underneath. Now that right hand, lifting the left shoulder. Left hand can stay on the low back. And then bringing that other arm up if that works for you. If you notice the shoulders up towards the ears, move them away from the ears. Maybe draw here a few circles from the wrist. Going the other way. And release. Right. Bring the hands down. Going back to downward facing dog. And then from here, let's walk the feet forward. Coming to a forward fold. Shaking your head low. And yes. Lifting up, so bringing the tailbone down. The head hangs, and then we hollow the belly. We're lifting up all the way. Coming towards the standing. Coming back to mountain pose. Right. And from here we work with a tree, with tree pose. So we can start with a kickstand. So bending one knee and bringing the heel above the other ankle. So finding balance, hands to your heart in prayer. So the elements of mountain pose, we lift into the chest, we lift from the core, finding length in our spine. And then any version for the legs. So maybe, the foot stays down, maybe you lift it up below the knee or above the knee. Maybe you bring the leg up all the way. And then the foot would push into the leg pushes back. Maybe you lift your arms. Maybe they are wide, going wide, having more balance. Maybe you reach more. Maybe you bring your gaze more up. Loving kindness. Staying in our center. And slowly coming up. Releasing. Shaking. And switching sides. Starting with the kickstand. Finding that length connecting to the core. And then any version that works for you. For the legs. For the arms. Maybe for the gaze. And release. Coming down. Alright. We do one more round of tree pose. And here you have a few options to modify. So we start again from the kickstand. So maybe you stay here, maybe you do your regular tree pose, whatever you want to do. Maybe you combine the tree with chair pose. So bending the standing leg. If you notice the hips go a lot to the side, bring them a little bit more to midline. Maybe you stay here, maybe you're fine. Maybe you lift the kickstand leg a little bit. Maybe you bring it on top of that bent knee. Here you can flex the front foot completely or point it. And here you're in a standing figure 4. If that's not working, just staying here. Or your regular tree is fine as well. Stay here for about 3 more breaths. Notice the strength you're feeling in your legs. Maybe you can cultivate some lightness, some reaching up. And when you're ready, slowly coming out. Releasing, shaking. And then from here coming towards the other side. Starting with your kickstand tree. Making a choice where you want to go. So maybe now bending the standing leg. Notice how this side might feel different. Maybe staying here. Maybe lifting the bent knee, the foot, bringing it in front of the knee. Coming towards your standing figure 4. Which is usually here a stretch for the outer hip. And to keep the knee happy, we either flex the foot or completely point the foot. Maybe you lift arms. Taking another breath. And release. And lift up. And release. Let's shake the legs. Let's actually bounce the legs, the whole body. Bounce, bounce, bounce. Maybe you even find a bubble head. The shoulders get soft, the arms. Alright, and release. Okay, so from here, let's come to a sitting. We do a round of boat pose. So to a sitting, boat pose we have a couple of choices. So maybe the feet stay connected and you connected to the ground and you lift up into the crown of the head, lift from the chest, and maybe you just lean back. Maybe your feet lift. You can always support yourself with the hands underneath the knees. So try to not sink into the low back, but lift up. So maybe the arms go along the legs. Breathing. Engaging the legs, so either pointing them or maybe barbie toes, pointing the feet and flexing the toes. Take another breath here, wherever you are. And then release the feet, bring them a little bit more forward, hands around the knees, finding lots of length. And then from here, let's release the upper body down, coming into a gentle forward fold. So notice what's going on in your back body. Take one more breath. And slowly roll up, lift up. Coming back to one more round of boat pose. Whatever your version of boat pose is. Maybe you lift the legs, straighten them all the way, but remember to lift up from your chest. Maybe knees are bent, maybe the legs are supported. Take another breath. And then from here we come down all the way on the ground. So maybe you support yourself, you come down, or maybe you go a little bit slower, working more from strength, if that's something you want to do this morning. Coming into a canoe, reaching into the legs, keep breathing, and release. And then from here we come down all the way. Let's bend the knees, bring the knees to the chest, thumb the knees a few times. And then from here, roll from side to side. Maybe letting the head roll to the opposite side. Bring the legs down. And then let's work a few rounds on bridge, and we start with bridge rolls. So with an exhale, pulling the belly in, making the tailbone long, and then from here letting the tailbone lift up, rolling up the spine any amount, and then from here coming down. Just keep breathing, coming down. So at the end, when you're on the mid-spine, make the tailbone long, let the low back land flat, and then arch your spine and reverse. Tailbone gets long, low back presses, tailbone lifts up all the way, rolling up any amount, and then slowly rolling down, letting the low back, the lumbar curve press down, arching the spine, and then do about 2 or 3 more. Feeling your vertebrae. So ground into your feet, try also to ground into the inside of the feet, so the knees stay over the heels. Let's do one more round. So the next time you're lifting up, you're in, you're bridge pose here, then stay here. A few breaths. Arms can go wherever they want, so either you press the hands down, find here a little bit more leverage. You can imagine a beach ball between the knees, hugging the legs. If you like, you can interlock fingers behind or below your low back, roll the shoulders in, pressing the fists down. Or maybe you grab the outer edges of the mat, pulling the mat apart. So engaging the upper body, breathing. And then from here, lifting the arms up, lifting the heels, and then try to roll down. And release. Let's come into bound ankle pose. So knees go wide, soles of the feet together. Breathing into your belly. Arms wherever they want to go. Take one more breath. Lifting the feet up. Now we do one more round of back bend. So if you like to do a supported bridge, if you're done with being active, then lift your hips and bring that block or bring a block underneath the sacrum. It's not in the low back, it's underneath the sacrum. Or if you'd like to work on an active bridge, then with the support of your hands, grounding down, grounding into the feet, feet hip width apart, pointing forward, lifting the hips up. And then take a couple of breaths. If you feel like you really want to do a little bit more, and you don't have to, it's all about what you need, and maybe you walk your feet a little bit more together. And then lift one leg up, bring that knee to the chest, and then reach up into the foot. Bring the knee down, lowering the legs. Maybe bringing the hips down or staying up, but leveling the hips. And then switching back. So bringing the knee to the chest, the other knee, lifting the foot, and then reaching up. Notice how you can keep your hips leveled. The knee back to the chest, lifting the foot, bringing the foot down, and then lifting the arms, lifting the heels, and then slowly roll down all the way. And then from here, let's come into a windshield wiper. So we widen the feet. If it's comfortable, you can keep your arms over your head, and then let the knees go from side to side. Maybe you go a little bit deeper by kind of rolling nearly over, so pushing into the outside or into the inside of that outside foot. So when the knees go towards the right, pressing into the left foot, allowing that left hip to reach up. And then to close up with a spinal twist, you can either stay in this windshield wiper twist where the knees stay on one side. Maybe the arms go a little bit more towards the opposite side. Or if it's calling for you any spinal twist, so what you can do is bring the knees to the chest for easy twist, hugging the legs together, and then bringing the knees over towards your right arm, more towards the arm, so the hips are stacked. And if it feels alright, letting that opposite arm hang, coming down. Now there are a couple of options you have. For one, if the knees are not heavy, you can bring a block underneath the knees. And if the opposite shoulder is not heavy, bring the arm in. But try to bring the head towards the opposite side. Take a few breaths, allowing your body to sink into the ground. Take one more breath. And slowly come back to center. And maybe you come here back into the windshield wiper twist on the other side. or you come into easy twist or any twist of your choice. And bring the knees over towards the other arm. So not, I mean, if you like, you bring them towards the side. The benefit of bringing the knees up to the arm is there's a little bit of rounding in the low back. It's the hips are more stacked. But you adjust what your body needs. Using a block, a blanket, whatever. And then allowing yourself to sink into the ground. Keeping a breath. Keeping a steady breath. Take one more breath. And from here, slowly lift up. Rolling maybe a little bit from side to side. Maybe coming into a heavy baby pose. And let's come back into bound ankle pose. So knees wide, soles of the feet together. And if you like, bringing the hands back towards the belly. Breathing into your belly. And maybe you come back to a metta meditation. Maybe towards yourself, maybe somebody else, murmuring in your head or speaking it out loud. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be at peace and free of suffering. From here, straighten your legs and prepare for Shavasana. So engaging your whole body, making fists, tightening arms, legs, and release. Again, making fists, tightening arms, legs, your whole body. Make faces and release. And then soften your whole body. Let the feet roll to the outside. Turn the palms up. Soften your face. And then enjoy Shavasana. The stillness in your body and in your mind. If you feel like you want to extend your Shavasana, just stay here. Breathing. Otherwise, take a deep inhale and a long exhale. Inhale all the way in and hold your breath. And then softly exhale all the way out. Wiggle fingers, wiggle toes. Bring your arms over your head. Reach. And release. And then from here, bend your knees and roll towards your favorite side. And when you're ready, lift up to a sitting. So keep your eyes closed, keep the head heavy. So any sitting. Now let's bring the hands to our heart. And we're closing with one round of Om. You're welcome to join. So let's all exhale. And then fully inhale. And let's remember that we always have the choice to come back to our breath. Namaste. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, I hope to see you soon. Soon on the mat, soon in person. Until then, I wish you well.